Shoulder bridge roll is an excellent exercise for mobilizing through the lumbar spine and working through a lot of the smaller muscles. You tend to work the muscles that face the floor when you do this one. So that'll include your gluteus maximus, hamstrings, you'll work through calves as well, and all these extensor muscles along your spine. And we're going to be mobilizing our spine from our tailbone, our coccyx, all the way up to the top of the shoulders. So we won't be working through the neck at all. So I'll just demonstrate the exercise to start with, and then I'll talk you through it. So it is a rolling exercise, and I'm coming up one vertebra at a time as I come all the way up to my ski slope. When I am in this position, by the way, I've got most of my weight, if not all of it, through the top of my shoulders. There's no extra pressure through my head or my neck. And if I wanted to, I could take my head off the mat. I don't tend to do that during the exercise though. I'm going to take my time and roll back down one vertebra at a time. So what I'm looking for here is several things. One is I want you to initiate through your hip extensor muscles, being your backside and your hamstring muscles. So if you get that feeling that you're pushing your feet away from you, that will help you to tilt the pelvis like so. And we are going to be tilting and squishing down on our sponge. Of course, your pelvic floors muscles are working as well as your belly button muscles. So just assume, if I don't say otherwise, that your corset muscles are engaged in both directions. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to feel like I'm pushing those feet away from me as I slowly tilt and squish down on that imaginary sponge under my lower back. And as the hips start to leave the floor, I need to engage these muscles, my gluteus maximus, a lot more, and then lift up one vertebra at a time through my rib cage, my thorax. Take a breath in, and then rolling back down. Now what you're looking for here is a few things. One, you're looking that you're equally smooth and flowing with your movement as you roll up, as you are when you roll back down, but you're also looking for balance between left and right. You don't want to feel like you're shifting your weight left to right. So even weight distributed through both feet. And if you do place your hands on your thighs, as I've done, it does make it a lot easier to get that balance between left and right. My knees, by the way, are staying the same width apart, and my feet are staying hip width apart, flat on the mat, and I probably am pushing most of my weight through my heels. You can, of course, just focus on the smaller movement, which is this one here, where I'm just squishing down through the lumbar spine. I'm doing the movement on the out-breath. I hold at each end on the in-breath. So breathing out, I'm always initiating through those hip extensors to tilt the pelvis, squishing down on the sponge, and then I'm rolling back. Now, if I wanted to check that I am actually rolling, you could place your hand underneath your lower back and you'll roll initially across your little finger before you move on to the ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and up towards your thumb. You then roll, of course, in the opposite direction. Your hands are affecting the exercise. They are in the way, so just use that for a little bit of awareness just to check and then continue. Quite often I'll do the double arm drop, and we did this with an earlier video. I'll breathe out. You're not going to have that feedback from the floor now as you do your double arm drops. You won't know if you're peeling your ribs off the floor. As I roll my body back down, I need to keep the angle between my arm and my body the same, so the arms appear to come back somewhat as well. And then I'll bring them back the rest of the way on the in-breath. So I'm breathing out as I roll up to my ski slope, nice and smoothly. Breathing in as I double arm drop. Breathe out as I roll back down with my body. And as I said, the arms appear to come back somewhat, and the arms come the rest of the way on the next in-breath. If in doubt, as you're rolling down, you can bring your arms back simultaneously with your body. A couple of little watch out points. We want that to be equally smooth in both directions. If it's a bit uncomfortable at the full ski slope, being up here through your lumbar spine, then maybe just have your hips a little bit lower. Don't come up to the full ski slope. So just slightly lower. It's not quite a straight line from shoulders to knees. And of course, if you do cramp up through your hamstrings, you need to think of firing a lot more through your gluteus maximus. So shoulder bridge roll, it's an excellent exercise. More often than not, I'll just focus on just that lumbar spine and not even worrying about working through the thoracic, but it's really good for working through lots of smaller muscles as well as those big erector spinae muscles that keep you nice and upright.